It's time to head down to the track now for today's championship race. And I wonder, who's going to come out on top? With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest circuit in F1. Hard braking zones going into the 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6-mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some closer action. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are 3 main things to worry about there, Crofty. Positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Vettel, Valtteri Bottas, and Albon, Ocon, Perez, Kvyat, and Carlos Sainz. Stroll, Giovinazzi, Daniel Ricciardo, and Norris, Raikkonen, Gasly, Romain Grosjean, and George Russell, Magnussen, and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today.
Here we go in Monza, revving up to 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. Max Verstappen, after a great pole lap yesterday, gets off to a good start. Charles Leclerc gets off to a strong start, as do both Ferraris. Verstappen has the lead at the turn 1. As the Ferraris and Mercedes are 3 wide into turn 1. Hamilton has a small lockup. Hamilton on the outside, Vettel and Leclerc on the inside. Hamilton gets the better exit. Then Hamilton onto the straight they go. Lewis Hamilton gets it front. Are the Ferraris going to come back at him? Vettel's very close to him, but he can't make the move, as Hamilton is now going to go in pursuit of Max Verstappen after, Verstappen did not have a great exit there, as now Hamilton is all over him. And a crazy qualifying yesterday, Verstappen going 2/10 faster than anyone. It looked like Bottas back there is behind a Renault. Yes, I believe he's behind Daniel Ricciardo, if I'm not mistaken. Max Verstappen makes a bit of a corner cut there, but he is still holding in front of Hamilton. Red Bull doesn't have the best straight line speed in the speed traps. It was, out of the top 3 teams, it was Ferrari, Mercedes, and then Red Bull, unsurprisingly. But Max was really able to make up so much in Sector 2, and generally just in the corners and braking zones. Bottas is very close to that Renault, looking to get past, and there's Leclerc on the back of Sebastian Vettel. Vettel goes defensive, Leclerc goes to the outside. Who's going to be latest on the brakes? Looks like it's Leclerc late on the brakes. Can he make this work? Right around the outside of turn 1, back down the inside of turn 2. They're going to be side by side as they accelerate now. Leclerc has the overtake button active, and he does just about get in front. Vettel's coming back at him as he has a shorter run into the next corner. Here comes Leclerc on the inside. Vettel locks up. Vettel's on the outside. Leclerc on the outside now. Leclerc is coming back at Vettel. This is an incredible battle for 3rd place, as Hamilton and Verstappen are battling up ahead, and we might go back and see what that battle is. As Charles Leclerc goes right around the outside of Sebastian Vettel. As now we watch a replay of this battle between Hamilton and Verstappen. Here we go, watching Hamilton. He's trying to get in that slipstream. We're on board with Lewis. Here he comes into the corner. Hamilton's on the outside. Verstappen's latest on the brakes. Hamilton has to look around the outside. Verstappen has to cut the corner so he doesn't crash. Here comes Hamilton, trying to get back at him. Verstappen moving over there. Typical of Max to make those aggressive moves, but Hamilton tries coming back at him into the next Lesmo. Hamilton's on the inside. Verstappen takes around the outside, and now we are back live with this race. And here comes Hamilton into Scari. No, he's not close enough. As Leclerc's in third in front of Vettel, then Albon, then I think Daniel Ricciardo, but it could be Esteban Ocon. It is Esteban Ocon, my bad. Ocon doing an incredible job keeping up with these top runners since they're all battling, and the straight line speed of that Renault, he's just taking advantage of it. There's a very close train there. Here goes Valtteri Bottas on Esteban Ocon. Ocon has slipstream from the cars in front, so Bottas can't quite get in front. This is a battle. Vettel breaks later than Albon, so he's able to take it into turn 1, but then Bottas on the inside of Ocon right around the outside, and Valtteri Bottas gets in front of Esteban Ocon. And here's a replay of Lewis Hamilton getting in front of Max Verstappen as the top two are battling. Once again, these two just can't stop battling this season. And here comes Hamilton. Verstappen's later on the brakes into turn 1, but Hamilton holds it just about. Verstappen tries that switch back, and it hasn't quite worked. The Honda engine couldn't give him the punch he needed to get in front of Hamilton. As now, yeah, he's just behind Lewis here. But now they continue. We're back live with this race. Here comes Verstappen going to the outside into the corner, right around the outside. Into turn 4. Hamilton comes back at him, and that's allowed Charles Leclerc to get into the mix, and Verstappen has to defend against him as he pushes Leclerc to the outside, and Verstappen holds P2. What a battle! Verstappen almost got in front of Hamilton, but then through turn 5, he just lost it on the curb, and meant that Lewis was able to take the lead. The thing I gotta say is that Red Bull can go very late on the brakes today. At least Verstappen is doing so, and it's allowing him to really make these defend against Lewis, except he hasn't really quite defended. But now he's going to come back at Lewis on the straight. Not on this straight, but on the start-finish straight. He is very close to him. Ferrari's doing a decent job, as Albon has surprisingly got some decent amount of pace. But here comes Verstappen with the DRS open. He's going to go to the outside. No, he's going to go to the inside. He fakes to the outside, goes to the inside, down the inside of turn 1. Hamilton tries it around the outside. Verstappen makes sure he closes that door so Lewis can't make it through, as Albon can't make that overtake. And there's an AlphaTauri doing pretty good. Looks like the Honda isn't as bad as maybe we were expecting, and it's Daniel Kvyat in front of Stroll, who is in front of Sergio Perez. Then it's Sainz. But the battles at the front are the really interesting ones at the moment, as Verstappen takes the lead of this race. And he is pulling a little bit on Lewis through the second sector. We already mentioned before just how fast he was through the second sector. But Lewis is still in that DRS, and he's still going to be able to come back at Max on the straight. And Verstappen loses the back end out of Ascari there. That was one area he did struggle with in qualifying. As now Hamilton is going to go to the outside, coming into Parabolica. Hits a Parabolica. Verstappen holds him off, but he doesn't take the optimal line going onto the Monza straight, which means that Hamilton's going to come back at him. Verstappen, the rear end of that Red Bull, not the most stable thing in the world, but at least it means he is pretty quick this weekend. But anyways, here comes Hamilton to the outside. Leclerc's right behind them. Verstappen late on the brakes into turn 1, but it's not late enough, as Hamilton is the inside for the next corner. They're going to go side by side as they accelerate out. Going through the Lesmo, and Hamilton can't make it work. Verstappen, brilliant defending from Verstappen, brilliant attacking by Lewis. Is now they go into the next corner. Verstappen takes a defensive line, so Lewis can't make the overtakes. Leclerc's even having some looks at Lewis, trying to get past him. Verstappen loses it back in a little bit through the first Lesmo. As now Hamilton has DRS coming into Ascari. Can he make an overtake? He's not quite close enough. It wouldn't be very smart to make an overtake into Ascari, as it is a high-speed corner and could very much end in a crash. It is allowing Lewis to really stay with him, and if we look back there, Bottas has overtaken Alexander Albon, who's now under threat from Esteban Ocon. Albon not doing as good as his teammate, but he's not doing exactly horrible. He's still keeping up with the top group. And here is Hamilton, And we saw earlier Bottas was very close to Vettel. Here comes Hamilton on the straight. As he's looking to the inside. Will he dive bomb it? No, he won't. No, it's Charles Leclerc who's going to come right around the outside of Hamilton. Back down the inside. Hamilton gets the better exit. Charles Leclerc with that Ferrari straight line speed. Really trying to get past Hamilton in here. Not very much help Max Verstappen. As I don't think Leclerc is as big a threat as Hamilton is, especially in the championship. But as you saw earlier, Bottas couldn't overtake Vettel and Hamilton walks up a little bit. Bottas could not overtake Vettel on the straight, as Vettel did have DRS, and that Ferrari is so quick in a straight line, but it's really, really not good in the corners. As here comes Hamilton once again with the DRS. I can't believe he's already closed up to Max again. Here goes Hamilton on the inside of Max Verstappen. Down the inside. He's actually already ahead. Max Verstappen has lost it into Ascari, but he's going to be able to come back at him. But I don't know if he will, because Charles Leclerc is right up behind Max Verstappen. Leclerc very close to Verstappen, and look at that, there's a battle. Such close racing there. They're 3 wide into Parabolica. Valtteri Bottas around the outside. Ocon did get in front of Albon, and now he's trying to get past the front of Sebastian Vettel. Esteban Ocon, an incredible race here. Ocon pulls into the pits, as does Verstappen and Hamilton. As now Verstappen's going to really hope for a quicker stop. Then Hamilton, but here goes for Vettel round the outside of Valtteri Bottas into turn 1. What an overtake this would be. But no, Bottas gets a better exit. And Verstappen has lost places. Well, at least he's lost time. He lost a place to Leclerc in the pits. Then sent it around the outside of Leclerc into turn 1 in the pit exit. And then here goes Verstappen on the back of Leclerc. Leclerc giving him space. Here comes Verstappen touching the grass. Just like, and right around the outside, just like Leclerc did to Hamilton. It looks like that's Esteban Ocon that's caught up to them. Just like Leclerc did to Hamilton back at 2019. He squeezed Hamilton to the edge, but I think he squeezed Hamilton a little bit more than he squeezed Verstappen, but Verstappen wasn't afraid to still outbrake Leclerc despite being on the grass. As that's Esteban Ocon, who's made up great time in this race. He's absolutely flying. He's got top runner pace today. As now he's pulling away from Leclerc through Ascari, but Hamilton has taken a good gap on Verstappen. And now it looks like he is the favorite for the win today. And that's not going to be good for Verstappen's sake of the championship, as that would mean Hamilton would in fact overtake Verstappen in the championship. Here comes Bottas out the pits. He's going to come side by side with Ocon. Ocon overtakes Verstappen. Sorry, Bottas, not Verstappen. Esteban Ocon has made up great time in the pits here, as now he is up in 4th place. Incredible driving from Esteban Ocon as Charles Leclerc's on the back of Verstappen. He's not quite close enough. Here comes Bottas, now on the straight. Here he comes on Esteban Ocon, who's made up great time. But it's not quite good enough, as now here he goes, round the outside, and he's in front before the braking zone. And it looks like Bottas did lock up a little bit. But he is in front, as Leclerc's still pretty close to Max Verstappen. There's yellow flags for a racing point of, I believe that's Sergio Perez, out of this race. So now Leclerc once again not close enough to Verstappen, who is catching Hamilton. Oh, and he cuts that corner. But he is catching Lewis Hamilton. As his qualifying pace is incredible. And Leclerc's just kind of staying with Verstappen. He's able to keep his time with Max. So it looks like Lewis is actually one of the slowest drivers out of the top 4 because even Bottas is catching them now. Yes, Verstappen is certainly closer, as Leclerc is also closer to Hamilton. And that's Esteban Ocon in front of Vettel and Albon. Vettel, who was up in 3rd place at one point, has lost a lot of time. And is that Vettel? Yes, that is. That's Vettel and Albon. Way down there battling Daniel Kvyat. That's very unfortunate for both of them, who's really, they've lost out in the pits. And now Albon is using Vettel's slipstream to overtake the other car. Now they're going to go 3 wide. Look at that from Albon. Nearly onto the grass there. 3 wide into the braking zone. Who's going to be latest on the brakes? It looks like it's Albon down the inside. Round the outside. Alex Albon with a double overtake. Kind of. Just look at that from Albon. Incredible move is now Daniel Ricciardo. Not doing as well as his teammate. But he does overtake him as now Sebastian Vettel goes to the outside. Albon goes defensive, placing his car perfectly into the corner. Renault's looking pretty quick today, as that's the racing point of, I believe, Lance Stroll on the back of the AlphaTauri. Sorry, I meant on the back of the McLaren of, I believe that's Carlos Sainz. And now, as we see, to go down the grid here, no other real surprises. Latifi down in last once again. Well, at least last of the cars that are still running. But now we see Hamilton is being caught by Verstappen. Verstappen has been told to push as hard as he can just to at least catch Hamilton. Give it everything. Look, he's pulling from Leclerc now. Give it everything on the battery, everything on the engine. It doesn't matter because it seems he's got the pace. He had the pace in qualifying. 2/10 faster than Hamilton. Now it looks like he's got the pace in the race. As he is now within DRS of Hamilton. Verstappen really pushing that car to the limit today. And Albon's not doing half bad either, although he did lose out a lot in the pits. He's pushing very hard to make up as much time as he can. As Stroll behind Sainz is still behind Albon, and them two battling is going to cause problems for them, as they're not going to be able to catch Ocon. Here goes Sebastian Vettel, though. Brilliant helicopter shot. Vettel's later on the brakes. You can see right around the outside, back down the inside. Albon holds it. Saw back there a big line for somebody else locking up on the track. And now Daniel Ricciardo is very close, and we know how good Ricciardo is at this track. But anyways, Vettel had a look at Albon, but couldn't quite make it work. And that battling between them is really costing them. As now I don't think they're going to be able to catch the other two. As Verstappen loses back end a lot. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch Stroll and Sainz. Simply because they're battling so hard, but Verstappen loses the back end out of Ascari, but it doesn't matter. He's pushing that car to the limit. We can see him sliding a little bit through Parabolica. He's going all out. Doesn't matter for the tires, doesn't matter for the engine. He's giving it absolutely everything. He's got the DRS. He's a little bit far back from Lewis. We know how late on the brakes he's been into turn 1. Really, the corners, he's making up so much time in braking zones and corners. As now he's trying to catch Hamilton. Look at that, he's much closer to Lewis than he was last lap. He's giving it absolutely everything, and it's awesome to see. Verstappen pushing that red. I don't think after the pit stops Hamilton thought that he would be battling Verstappen again. But yes, Vettel still can't pass Albon. It's really hampering them. They are catching Stroll up ahead though, especially through Sector 2. We can see those top cars so much better in the corners. But Stroll in the pink Mercedes isn't doing horrible. Still behind Sainz though. Now Albon really pushing it. As he's pulling away from Vettel, we can see through the corners how much he can really pull from that Ferrari, and Ricciardo's kind of keeping up with them. As now, here we go, back on board with Max Verstappen. He's closer to Hamilton. Hamilton defends to the inside. Verstappen to the outside. Right around the outside of turn 1. Then it's a turn 2. Max Verstappen takes the lead of the race. Hamilton's going to come back at him as Hamilton has the inside. Look at that. They're side by side. As they go down the next Lesmo, it's the final lap of the race. Hamilton has the lead. Verstappen on the inside. Down the inside goes Max Verstappen on the final lap of the race. And it looks like now Verstappen has the lead of the race. What a move from Max Verstappen. As now on the final lap, Stroll is having a look at Sainz. And that's costing them a lot of time to the next Lesmo. Look at how fast Albon is through there. Now Albon's going to have a look at both of them. Here goes Stroll. He's a bit behind, but he's going to have the DRS. He's going to have that Mercedes engine. Here goes Stroll. He's in front of Sainz. Now Albon on the final lap of the race. What a crazy final lap. Albon down the inside. Through there now, can Sainz come back at Albon? Albon has the slipstream from Stroll in front, so I don't know if he's going to be able to make this move on the final lap of the race. Here they go. It's a parabolic. It looks like Vettel has a look at Sainz into the final lap. But it's not enough as Max Verstappen wins the race. What a stunning drive from him. What an incredible drive from Max Verstappen as Stroll comes across the line for P5. Ocon getting P4.
So another fantastic victory for Red Bull today. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today and the results speak for themselves.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. Today's performance means Max Verstappen now owns the top spot in the Drivers' Championship. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
Well, on Stroll would be my pick. He managed to keep a cool head today whilst pushing through the field. All respect to the fans' choice, they fully deserve it. But I just feel that my pick had a little more on their plate, so their ability to keep a cool head and come through for such a strong finish made the difference, at least in my opinion.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.